Stop letting the algorithm control you. Right now, the energy that is coming through is not having the ability to control your own mind, okay? Not having that ability, not being able to have discernment. This is really important. Right now, we live in a time where there's a lot of information, there's a lot of stuff. I know you see all the stuff on social media and the news and stuff like that, and it's set up to scare you. Why is it set up to scare you? Because the more scared that you are, the more that you will be in control and you will feel lost. Why is that important? When people are afraid, they're easy to be controlled. When people are afraid, you can convince them to do many things. We live in a time where there is so much fear going on and people capitalizing off of that fear that we impulsively just want to keep on buying things. We don't know where we're at, okay? So we compulsively want to keep on buying things to make us feel better. And then we get back into this cycle again, consuming all kinds of different information and losing out on opportunities, not being able to see where the next thing is. A lot of people feel stuck. A lot of you all feel very stuck. And it's not because there aren't opportunities. It's just you have to be in the right mindset. You have to be in the right balance to be able to seize those opportunities. We are constantly in a state of wanting to be free, wanting to be balanced, wanting to be happy, but at the same time just feeling completely overwhelmed, completely drained, and not really having a collective energy the way that we're supposed to be working with each other. We don't really have that anymore because life can seem and feel so overwhelming. Do you even have energy left? Now, we have seen people come together. You've seen that in different movements that are happening in order to have some equity or some systemic change. Overall, there is a large consumption of social media. I mean, like the irony of the whole situation. But it is what it is. And people are looking for something. They're looking for their identity. They're looking for their vision. They're looking for their future. They're looking for their purpose. What makes it important? Sometimes it can be nostalgic, okay? Looking for the journey, looking for the guidance. A lot of people are lacking identity. And so you're probably thinking, like, what does that have to do with social media? When you are in a heightened state of fear, you will fall for anything. And if you will fall for anything, you can be used to do a lot of things. Mostly on social media, you fall for the fear, and then it's like marketing. You get certain ads, and now you're like, okay, I want to feel better. Here's how I'm going to feel better. I'm going to buy this thing, and then it's going to make me feel better. And then it doesn't make you feel better because you feel bad again, and now you want to buy this other thing, and that thing, you just put it on the side. But to free yourself from this, you have to believe, and then we have that infinity again, that balance. You have to believe, so we have that balance again. You have to believe that it is possible within you, okay? You have to believe that you have something within you that is enough to figure it out. That you have something within you that is balanced enough. That is, when I say courageous enough, I'm not saying that you're getting out there and you have to really push yourself. And I'm not saying that at all. Sometimes the courage is just believing that you're worth giving a damn, or you're worth trying for, or this ideal or this goal that you want or you want to work toward is worth the potential of wasting your time. There's no way to do anything in life and there not be a risk of something. When I say a risk of something, let's say a risk of wasting your time, a risk of not being right. But things in life, unless they're really extreme, the most everyday decisions aren't like very hard cut. Yes, no, right, wrong, this and that. The extreme things, yes, but everyday, no. And so people are when I say like petrified, just like frozen, they don't know how to have discernment, how to make decisions anymore because they're just overwhelmed. Their nervous system is overwhelmed. Their energy feels overwhelming all around them. They have lost their identity. They have lost their sense of self. It just like things just can feel soul sucking. So that's a lot of stuff that's going on. And again, I'm telling you, like with the social media stuff, it is simply to keep you looped in. There are different groups of people over all different kinds of areas who have a vested interest in wanting to manipulate you into thinking this or that. But at the end of the day, it really is just about the money. We're going to react. Look, the heartbreak of money, we're going to react strongly to things that piss us off and make us upset than things that make us happy. And social media is all about us consuming more and more and more and more and more. So if we consume more and more and more and we react strongest to the things that make us upset and unhappy, there's going to be many people over here just coaxing different fires because they get ad revenue from it. Now, there are different groups of people that we have seen over time and currently who have a vested interest in like spreading some type of misinformation, which still make people money. Somebody has to get paid to do all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, the more you are afraid, the less likely you are to own your power, to make decisions, to say, okay, this moment is just this moment, but there will be moments after this, and there were moments before. So, how to get unstuck? Because it's like, yeah, you feel it, you feel drained. So you feel it, you feel drained. How to get unstuck? It may feel like, what do you mean? You have to fight for it. And when you fighting for it doesn't mean that like you have no energy left and you're supposed to come up with some magical amount of energy to feel good and figure out how to do this. No, that's not what it is. Fighting for it is saying each day, this is what I can do to reestablish my identity, to reestablish my feelings of self-worth, my feelings of purpose, because you're going to have a lot of things. It's never just one area of your life. It's never just money. It's never just love. It's never just society. It's never just one area. It's multiple areas. So you're going to have to cover all of these things. But you're going to do it in realistic chunks, reasonable chunks. And the fighting for it is a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. The physical thing, the extremeness of it, that's a part of that social media stuff where it's like you get up and you're like, okay, I'm decided I'm gonna make a change today and I'm gonna do da 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 rah 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 rah. I'm gonna do all this stuff at one time, and then you get burnt out and then you spiral again because you feel like it's not worth it or you're afraid it won't happen. So you try to force yourself to do all these things. No, to fight for it, you find deliverable chunks that you can do each and every day towards the different things that are bothering you. And you do it consistently. The fight is every day, convincing yourself, yes, I'm going to do this today. And you're doing it in such a deliverable chunk that you know you can do it. But the mental game, all this brainwashing that we've all had of thinking that we can't think for ourselves or that if we try, it's pointless. There's so many people out here within the United States I've heard did not vote, but also had a very strong very strong political opinions, and it's because there's a feeling of like, well, what's the point and what's the purpose? Well, the point is the purpose is, if you don't, and that's an example of voting, if you look at a systemic infrastructure and you do not like it, okay, and the rules that are now for this example, which happens to be voting, would be you have to vote in people, depending on which level, that represent your needs. That's going to require you to actually have to learn about the people, and you're already overwhelmed, okay? Because social media has you thinking about everything at one time and feeling like you can't do anything. So you're already overwhelmed. So then you start to say, like, what's the point? What's the point? The same amount of energy someone could put complaining about what they don't like politically, they could use that same amount of energy to go learn about the people who are running. So when you totally give that up, what happens? You start to see various administrations that are unhinged, okay? And this is not a perspective of looking at it from a particular political party. It's up to you, whatever you want, whatever you believe, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make shifts. You're supposed to make change. Like, we're supposed to critique the system, but you cannot critique the system if you do not participate, and it's inevitable to not participate. It's the same conversation with kind of capitalism as well, but you have to be able to walk the walk. You may feel powerless, and again, I'm telling you, we've bridged it together. The powerlessness is because social media makes a lot of money off of the fear mongering, okay? But how that has rippled into society is now everyone is experiencing this feeling of what's the point? And when people are in a chaotic state, extreme people, extreme ideologies then can come and find their way in. So how do you fight for that? How do you find that worth? You have to. You have to find that worth within yourself. You have to find that worth that makes it important for you each and every day to get up and say yes. And master it, okay? So this is the whole undercurrent of what's happening here is happens to be with financial stability or financial instability. And that's a big reason why people manipulate and control things. So what are you going to do? Okay? No matter where you're at right now, you can make moves. You can make shifts. You can make changes, okay? There's nothing wrong with being informed, but you know what an addiction is. And just because it's normalized doesn't mean it's not an addiction. And I get it, the irony. I get it. But I'm trying to find you where you're at, okay? I'm trying to find you where you're at, and there's no judgment there. I'm just telling you, you have more power than what it feels like. So what are you going to do about it? Okay? I'll see you next time.